Good morning, everybody. It's Pastor John with another edition of Monday Morning Quarterback. So yesterday we read what, on the face of it, seems like a rather kind of obscure passage from Matthew's Gospel where Jesus sends out the disciples to cure people, to heal them, and to preach the good news that the kingdom of heaven has come near. But there's a little episode before that I think really sets the stage for why Jesus sent them out. In the end of the 9th chapter of Matthew's Gospel, it says, Jesus went about all the cities and villages, teaching in their synagogues and proclaiming the good news of the kingdom and curing every disease and every sickness. When he saw the crowds, he had compassion for them because they were harassed and helpless, like sheep without a shepherd. He had compassion for them. You see, when Jesus sent the 12 disciples out on their mission, it was grounded in the compassion of God. And through the power of the Holy Spirit and through the power of Christ's compassion, he empowered the disciples to fulfill their role. Now, I focus on this in the sermon because compassion is often that missing ingredient that we do not talk about enough in the church. And as we're doing a sermon series on the rebel Jesus, well, in a society where compassion is hard to find, in a society where we are set up, pitted against one another, in that society, compassion is downright rebellious. And so by exercising the compassion of God, then we are following the rebel Jesus. But compassion is more important than just being sort of a mark or a rebellious thing. It's important because compassion, as I said in the sermon, compassion is the one thing that sort of keeps this whole enterprise of Christianity on the up and up. It's what keeps us from getting too full of ourselves and keeps us from maybe thinking it really is all about us. You know, Jesus used this wonderful metaphor after he talked about, the people who were like sheep without a shepherd. Then he said to his disciples, the harvest is plentiful, but the laborers are few. Therefore, ask the Lord of the harvest to send out laborers into his harvest. And then, of course, Jesus sent laborers out into the harvest. But here's the thing, okay? Compassion is what keeps our harvest from becoming a crusade. I mentioned that in the sermon yesterday. Compassion keeps our harvest from becoming a crusade. And history has shown what a bad idea crusades are, okay? Jesus' love, Jesus' salvation, Jesus' hope, the new world that Jesus is trying to institute, they are not revealed in crusades, but they are revealed in compassion. And so, I as a Christian minister, I often challenge people who use that word, a crusade, because a crusade implies that we are the ones that are making this new world order come to be. And it elevates us, when the truth of the matter is we are servants to the reign of God, not its masters. And we remember that by having compassion for others. That's why compassion is so key to this entire thing, because compassion is the thing that keeps us on the right path. Jesus never, ever criticized anyone in the Bible for having compassion. But he did criticize them for religious hypocrisy, for thinking that they were, all that in a bag of chips. Compassion is key to this whole thing. I don't care what church structure you have or what your church's creed is or what you believe. I don't care who's allowed to preach, who's not allowed, who you welcome, who you don't welcome. Those things are secondary to compassion. And only that which flows out of compassion that God has showed for us and we show for the world, only that which flows out of that is the reign of God. And that's just truth. Have a wonderful week, my friends. God bless.